These comp sheets help us get a sense of the market value of your home.
So where am I supposed to be looking?
We'll see these sold prices.
How do we present comparables and pricing data to buyers who are forming a price opinion in an unfamiliar neighborhood? And what about sellers? So often, they're only generally aware of what's going on in their own neighborhood. How often have you heard them say they think the house around the corner sold for $610,000? Or what about visitors at open houses? We've got just moments to give them a sense that the home is priced right. What about when presenting to homeowners when farming? It's tough to get any traction with them by mailing out MLS lists of recent solds. Everybody's doing that. And what about appraisers? They've already pulled the comps. That's not the issue. What's the best way to get them seeing the market's momentum? Or to convince them to justify our sales price with an upward departure from the comps? How about the listing appointment? We have the comps with us. Are we really going to pull out MLS sheets? And even if we did, how do we illustrate where the home will stand relative to price and square footage?
We could review the MLS sheets with them.
We could give them a CMA?
Or better yet, we could really confuse them with a statistical CMA. Yeah, that's the perfect recipe.
What about RPR reports? Some of those can stretch to 60 to 70 pages. Even if a seller had the time to review it, the RPR so often draws focus to communities and zip codes and demographics. That's the exact opposite of the laser focus needed to answer the question, how does my house compare in price to my neighbor's? Or we could just punt and let Zillow's algorithm tell them. I think we know that this just isn't the right answer, on all kinds of levels. Or we could consider using a scatter plot from listing charts and give them a single view, interactive, graphic, easy to digest view of the comps in their neighborhood. Let's take a look at how easy Listing Charts is to use. First, let's get familiar with the screen. To help increase your visibility with customers and comply with brokerage identification rules, Listing Charts has profile settings that allow you to set your picture and brokerage logo as part of your profile. When you float your cursor over a data dot on the listing chart, on the right you will open a data window with all the most important details about the property and the listing. The data window gives the viewer the ability to immediately relate the subject property to the rest of the neighborhood. And with sellers, to quickly compare the strengths and weaknesses of their own home with their neighbor's property. These details can include a picture, if available. That might jog the viewer's memory if they are familiar with the neighborhood. Other essential data points are included such as price, square footage, year built, days on market, and number of bedrooms and bathrooms. If the listing is a closed sale, then the data window will also show the date sold, the sold price, and, most importantly, the price per square foot, which drives the listing charts analysis. Once you have a good analysis of the neighborhood and you are ready to sit down with a future seller, Listing Charts enables you to add that seller's as-yet unlisted home to the chart. The seller can now see how their home's pricing compares to the neighborhood. To start, click on the Edit button. You will see the name you gave to the chart and any notes you entered when you first created the chart. Then, at the bottom you will see a checkbox next to Add Comparison Property. Click that checkbox, and the area to add the data for the comparison property will appear. Now you have access to all the fields used in the chart, and can add any of the information about the seller's own home to make the presentation richer. To add the property to the chart, you must add a list price and the square footage. For this pretend example, we'll enter $792,000 for the list price. Then, for square footage, let's go with 2936. Once you've entered those minimum requirements, you can then continue to add any additional information about the potential listing in the other fields. The more data you add, the more engaging and informative the comparison will be. But if you lack the additional data, that's okay. Keep in mind only list price and square footage are required to make this feature work. As you are entering your data, if you have a photo of the potential list property, Listing Charts can import that into the analysis. Simply click the Browse button and find the image on your computer. Then click Open and the picture will be added to the scatter plot. Once you have added all the information you want to use, click the Save button. You will see the comparison property is showing in a purple box to the right with all the information that you entered. On the chart, the comparison property will show up as a star so it can be easily identified. You can see it here. Now, when you float over other properties in the chart, the two properties will be shown side by side. In this case, the comparison house is slightly larger, but the price is slightly lower. This should prompt a conversation with the prospective customer about the differences or similarities that would justify the proposed listing price or a change in the price. You can easily continue to pick other properties on the chart to display. Finally, an easy way to visualize home values. We are so sure you'll love it. We'll comp you the first 30 days free. Check us out.
So what do you think is the asking price of our home?
With this listing chart, you can easily see where your asking price is positioned. These blue dots are sold.
Right, I see your point. Oh, I get it now.
Listing Charts pricing is $9 per month. The first month is free, there is no contract, and you can cancel at any time.
I do use listing charts when I'm putting an offer together, not just for the buyer, because we're putting together a CMA, we're putting all the comparables together, we're putting our package together, and it's real important to make sure that we're letting them know, hey, we know the market. We know not just doing a CMA through MLS or other tools, but Listing Charts gives a very powerful view of what that neighborhood looks like and what a most likely price point would be for that listing.
I am Listing Charts' newest user, and I became a new user, which seems like a seasoned user almost overnight because it's so intuitive and it's also so naturally easy to use.
I will use it with buyers just because it gives you such a robust, dynamic overview of the market that they can really see where they should be focusing and where their numbers should come in at based on what the competition has sold.
Listing Charts tutorials are free and can be arranged with your office, or use the QR code to find a session that is already scheduled near you.